WISC TV3, Madison.
Join Mark Kane, Beth Zerbakin, and meteorologist Janet Pius. This is Live at 5.
Jesse Anderson, injured Monday with Jeffrey Dahmer, has died.
$95 million is the Powerball jackpot.
And on People in the News, Roseanne is going the artificial route for a second time.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 5 on this Wednesday. We are back from Chicago, and we are tired of driving back and forth, so we're not going on a trip for a while, are we, Mark?
No, because we were there Monday, but then we had to come back because of breaking news. We went Sunday, and then we came back, and we went, we've been in the car way too much together.
It's good to be home. You make it sound like it was difficult. We had a good time.
No, it was. It's nice to be back, though.
Let's take a quick look at our weather here at Channel 3 before we begin our news. 31 degrees, clear skies. Janet Pyatt joins us in just a few minutes.
But first, the news and our top story today. Jesse Anderson, the inmate hurt along with Jeffrey Dahmer Monday, has died. Anderson dying this morning at University Hospital in Madison. Anderson and Dahmer were cleaning bathrooms at Columbia Prison when they were attacked. Anderson was serving a life sentence for killing his wife, Barbara, 2 years ago. Her brother refused to gloat over Anderson's death.
I'm just saying that there's that little evil part of everybody, I'm sure, that wants to go and get their revenge in this type of a situation. But when you look at it, you know, with the whole person that you are, nobody who has any feelings is going to jump up and down and say, hey, it's the greatest thing that could happen.
Anderson continued to maintain his innocence, blaming his wife's death on two attackers. Anderson had been in a coma in critical condition since Monday.
For the second time this week, an Illinois man with a long and violent criminal history has been charged with sexual assault. 36-year-old Ori Metz is the primary suspect in a series of robberies and rapes in Dane County. Madison, Monona, and Dane County detectives believe Metz has been breaking into homes and assaulting women at knife point. He was charged this afternoon with attacking a Madison woman. He's also suspected of committing two similar crimes in Monona and another in the town of Burke. Metz was recently released from an Illinois prison. A collision in Milwaukee between two police cars leaves one officer dead. 27-year-old Michael Nyhoff, a 3-year veteran of the force, was killed when the squad cars responding to the same call collided at an intersection. Two other officers are listed in stable condition. One of the cars spun and hit a small school bus. The driver of the bus sustained minor injuries.
The Truth in Ticketing rule takes effect next week. It's designed to prevent scams like those that left UW football fans angry and ticketless outside this year's Rose Bowl. Badger fans bought tour packages last year only to arrive at Pasadena and discover that game tickets were not available. Under the rule, tour operators must have a substantial number of tickets on hand before advertising tours. Also, operators who promise tickets must refund customers if no tickets are available. Another ticket is selling like crazy, especially in Fond du Lac. It's a $95 million Powerball jackpot, and it is keeping lottery retailers busy. Everyone seems to want a ticket from Fond du Lac's Miracle Mile. At Century Foods, the store sold 1,000 tickets an hour between 7 and 10 this morning. The $95 million jackpot breaks down to about $4.7 million a year for 20 years after taxes.
An Italian cruise ship is burning, killing 2 and injuring 8. Italian news agencies say the Achille Lauro is consumed in flames and listing badly about 15 miles off Somalia. Nearly 1,000 passenger and crew were safely rescued. If the Achille Lauro sounds familiar to you, the ship gained notoriety in 1985 when Palestinian terrorists hijacked it and killed an American passenger.
Wisconsin congressman voted 6-3 against the GATT World Trade Agreement approved by the House. Voting no, Republicans Steve Gunderson, Scott Klug, Toby Roth, and Jim Sensenbrenner. Also, Democrats Peter Barca and David Obey. The trade debate goes on in the Senate now. Republican leader Bob Dole says he feels confident the votes are there for approval. The Senate is expected to vote on the GATT late tomorrow. The stock market mixed today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average finished with a fractional gain. To end the day at 3739, the NASDAQ Composite Index lost over a point.
Better get your Christmas cards out before the first of the year because it will cost you more. 32 cents to mail a letter by then. The Postal Rate Commission has recommended this new rate, and the Postal Governing Board now must give final approval, which it usually does. It's a mess for part of Washington state. High tides combined with heavy rains is pushing virtually every river over their banks in western Washington. As you can see from these pictures, some people were forced from their homes when floodwaters rose quickly overnight.
We'll check the status of our forecast. That's next with Janet.
And look who's hanging out on the Santa Monica Freeway. It's Devil Man running amok in our final touch. Not too bad of a day here weather-wise.
Kind of nice, actually.
Janet Pyatt joining us. We look like Christmas, green and red.
I'd say we should be sitting next to each other or put Mark in the middle. It will actually get better in the weather department, too. In fact, more sunshine tomorrow and even into Friday, at least the first half. And with southwesterly winds, it'll be warming up as well. Here are the current temperatures across the upper Midwest. And while it's still pretty cool across Minnesota and Wisconsin, a tongue of very mild air made it northward through Kansas. Temperatures reaching 60 degrees this afternoon at Garden City. 50s all the way up to Rapid City this afternoon, melting some of the snow that had fallen there last week. Now, as the satellite view shows, there is a storm coming in from the west. You can see plenty of cloud cover. You just saw the video out of Seattle. They've had a lot of rain out there, but most of it's precipitating out as it heads over the mountains. And though we will see clouds from that storm in the next 24 hours, and perhaps maybe a flurry or two in northern parts of Wisconsin, we should remain dry and just be looking for a little more of a hazy sunshine. So tomorrow, as the front draws in a little closer, winds will be from the southwest, and they will be a little stronger than they were today. But that will mean milder weather with temperatures towards 50 degrees, and in some cases could be, or I should say, upper 40s, and we could have some lower 50s on Friday. In Madison today, our high temperature was only 38. The low this morning was 22, with south winds now at 8. The wind chill is tolerable. It's at 20 degrees, and the pressure steady. The forecast tonight, I look for increasing cloudiness. It's mainly for the high cloud cover, a low at 28. And there may be a few flurries up north tonight, but we'll be back to more sunshine tomorrow, and it looks like through at least the first half of Friday. Our next storm, of course, is due in on the weekend. Looks like probably rain again to start with, and just a real light precipitation this time, not a major storm.
40s on December 1st.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Almost 50 in some cases.
All right. Thanks, Janet.
Thanks, Janet. Well, yesterday, if you caught our show, it was the ethnic Christmas tree display at Chicago's Museum of Science and Industry.
Now, 'tis the season at the Governor's Mansion. Workers are busy decorating the holiday trees that will soon be on display to the general public. Every year, 5 trees are decorated according to a Wisconsin ethnic tradition. Starting on Sunday, you can view the trees from noon to 3. Remember to dress warmly, though, because you usually have to stand in line because this has become a popular holiday tradition.
It's even just fun to see the Governor's Mansion because it's such a beautiful building.
Especially this time of year.
When we come back, Wednesday's child loses a friend.
John Karcher in with Wednesday's Child, sort of an update Wednesday's Child.
It is. You know, every once in a while we like to look back at some of the kids or some of the bigs and see how they're doing and stuff. And we had an opportunity to look at a match this week, and we're updating what's going on with these two guys. Today we look back at Travis, 5 years ago as he went to get his fortune told as a Wednesday's Child, and how he turned out today.
Are you going to be rich? How rich is rich? Millionaire. A millionaire. 3 say no, but then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 say yes. So I would say yes, you are going to have a big brother.
5 years ago, the cards told Travis he'd get his big brother, and someday he'd be rich. Today, only part of that has come true.
If I can remember, she said that I would find wealth, but in time.
Did it happen yet?
No.
It hasn't happened?
Has become close.
No? But you found a big brother?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And how long did you have to wait for that?
About 2 weeks.
Boy, that happened quickly then.
Yeah.
And this has been your only big brother since then?
Yep.
And how's it worked out?
Real good. Real good. It's been about 5 years. So it's worked out real good.
Any fond memories from the 5 years?
A lot.
Well, tell me about some.
It's like, went to a Badger football game once. Go out to movies. Played racquetball.
You know, Travis and I, it took a while for us to get used to each other, I think, in the beginning. So we just became friends, and that's sort of, in a sense, what my goal is, you know.
They've shared 5 years together. Big brother Harry, little brother Travis. Did all those things bigs and littles do together. Now the relationship is ending. Harry's taken a job in California. This meeting here was their last together.
It felt weird, because I knew that, we weren't going to do this again. We weren't going to go to lunch or to the movies or whatever again. Mm-hmm. And it's definitely saddened by that. But, I plan on keeping in touch, and, I'm not a very good writer, but I call,
Are you going to go out and visit? Do you have any plans for that?
No. I don't have any money.
It's that lady with the card. See, she said you're going to be wealthy one day.
That's right.
And maybe it'll happen.
Yeah.
And then you can go
might jinx you, though. I don't know.
I don't know. You ought to go back and see her and say how come it hasn't come true.
Yeah.
But I see you starting a relationship with your big brother that's very enriching for both of you.
Yes.
Oh, that's sweet.
Very enriching. And she also said that it'll be a lot of emotion for the two of them. And I think she was right.
Yeah, I think so. Does it usually go on a long time, these relationships?
The agency officially stops tracking them when the littles reach about 16 years old. But many, dozens and dozens of cases continue on in their 20s and 30s. I had a guy call me not too long ago. He says, I'm 50 and my little brother's 30. Why don't you do us?
That's sweet.
I said, well, I'm going to try and do that too.
Yeah. You become good friends.
Lifelong friends, yeah. Right.
All right. Thank you, John.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, John. Well, just up, 'tis the season for a little Christmas cheer.
When we return, we'll chat with the artistic director of A Christmas Carol and sneak a peek.
You're watching News 3 Live at 5 on WISC TV3.
For those of you just joining us, here's a quick recap of our top stories today. The inmate hurt along with Jeffrey Dahmer has died. Jesse Anderson died this morning at University Hospital in Madison of his injuries sustained in the Monday attack at the Columbia County Prison. Powerball tickets are selling like crazy. It's a $95 million Powerball jackpot. If one person wins, it's $4.7 million a year for 20 years after taxes. 30 degrees right now, and Janet says expect increasing cloudiness this evening. The temperature's falling to around 30. I guess it's not going to fall much more than it is now. Christmas is right around the corner for many of us, a hectic time.
That's why it's really important to take time out, enjoy the holidays. And one way to do that is by checking out this year's presentation of A Christmas Carol. That's a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And we're joined today by Nancy Thoreau, the show's artistic director. Welcome, Nancy.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Live at 5.
I can't believe
delighted.
You've done this for 18 years now?
Yes, this is the 18th annual A Christmas Carol.
Has it evolved over time?
It has, yes. I think that when I wrote it originally, it was about an hour long, and then I kept adding more of the scenes from the carol and from the book, and Dickens' book, of course, and now it's about an hour and a half.
And this is a musical adaptation to the story. How does that change the Christmas Carol story?
It doesn't change it too much in that this is more of the original carols of the period and some new music that we put into it. Well, actually, Scrooge wrote a song for it.
Really?
It's very beautiful. It's right at the end of the play. So it is a carol, and so it makes it sense to have Christmas carols in it.
We have some of your actors and actresses out in the other studio. What are we going to see?
Well, we'll see Scrooge as a young man falling in love with Belle, the woman he wished that he had married and never did.
All right, well,
Christmas past.
let's get a sample of A
it is.
Christmas Carol.
So I thought, perhaps, you might accept my ring. I love you, Belle.
I love you, Ebenezer.
Thank you, Belle. I am the richest man in the world to have the love of the dearest woman in it.
We'll have the loveliest little home sharing our love.
I'll be finishing my apprenticeship soon and starting my own business directly after. Then we'll be able to plan our wedding and our home.
And when we have our own children, it'll be filled with laughter.
Love is like a dream that whispers in the night.
Love is like the rising sun, forever you embrace.
Love is like a song, a melody of life. Love begins a family, children, husband, wife. I once was adrift, now I'm the happiest man on earth. Your love is a gift, a promised chance for my rebirth. But if love is a dream, will its promise fade away? My darling, our love's a wondrous miracle, a dream comes true each day.
nice.
Thank you.
So would this be Christmas for you if you didn't do this play every year?
I don't think so. Probably not. It seems that Christmas has been going on for several weeks now for all of us.
How long have you been practicing?
About 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll be running right up till Christmas.
It does run through December 23rd at the Civic Center. Isthmus Playhouse tickets, $15. Here's a number for more information, 266-9055.
Nancy, thank you, and thanks to your performers as well.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Have a good holiday season.
Thank you.
People in the news up next. Looking for a film for the kids? We have a suggestion.
And another 60s sitcom is coming to the big screen.
Oh, boy, am I a mess.
Did you finish painting the bedroom?
Yeah, but it's a sloppy job. I was too lazy to go out and buy a new paintbrush.
If you'd asked me, I'd have been glad to lend you my tail.
Thank you.
Celebrity birthdays today, rocker Billy Idol is 39, singer Mandy Patinkin turns 42, and actor Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. is 71. Today on People in the News, rapper Tupac Shakur has improved slightly since being shot in a robbery today.
Shakur's condition has been upgraded from guarded to serious. Shakur was shot 5 times in the head, groin, and hand early this morning in New York. Shakur and 3 other men were about to go into a recording studio when 3 robbers demanded that they, quote, give it up. Police think the suspects knew who Shakur was. Meanwhile, the jury in the sexual assault trial against Shakur deliberated for a second day, unaware that he was nearly killed. In California, the wife of actor Jan Michael Vincent says she is so afraid of him that she wants the court to protect her. Joanne Vincent says her husband has abused her verbally, physically, and sexually for 10 years and also threatened to kill her. A judge has yet to decide on a restraining order against him. In the meantime, Vincent can't come within 300 yards of their home in Malibu.
Roseanne's reputation for being full of surprises is intact. The sitcom star says she's been artificially inseminated and will know very soon if she's pregnant. The TV queen says her artificial insemination was performed with the aid of bodyguard and fiancé Ben Thomas. They plan to marry on Valentine's Day. And apparently she showed it off for her Band-Aid last night on Letterman.
They did one, and then she did 3 other ones, and they froze those in case this one doesn't take. Three other eggs.
They'll make such good parents. Classic literature comes
know
to...
that? You don't know
that.
that.
I mean, right. Life in the new part live action and part animated adventure movie, The Pagemaster.
The film features pint-sized megastar Macaulay Culkin and some very famous voices.
I am the Pagemaster, keeper of the books and guardian of the written word.
Christopher Lloyd stars as the Pagemaster, who sends Macaulay Culkin's character, Richard Tyler, the world's most timid kid, on a journey into the world of books.
I'm a cartoon.
Culkin is transformed into an animated character, and the adventure begins.
He goes into, different books, and he does, Jack and the Beanstalk, and he goes through just these fantasy books, and he, Alice in Wonderland just a little bit, he opens the book, and out comes the queen. Alice in Wonderland.
The young boy then meets 3 books, horror, fantasy, and adventure, who become his guides in exchange for his promise of checking them out of the library. Adventure is gleefully voiced by Star Trek: The Next Generation's Patrick Stewart.
You old sea hag! I'll rip out your pages and I'll use it for... I have to tell you, I have never been so far over the top in my acting than I've been inside the studio.
The Pagemaster rated G and is now playing.
Horse is a horse, of course. And now it's going to be a movie.
Hello. I'm Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed, the 60s sitcom starring a talking horse and actor Alan Young, is going to be a big screen release for the Walt Disney Company. There's no word yet on casting, but the producer would love to see Mr. Young in a picture in some sort of role.
Boy, am I a mess.
And who's going to play the horse? We'll be right back.
Mr. Ed, of course.
John's back now in the newsroom with the 6 o'clock headlines. John?
Mark and Beth, coming up in 30 minutes, the state is going after baby formula makers. We'll tell you why. And a fake cop incident in the city, and the guy's been busted. That and more at 6.
All right, John, thanks. We'll see you then. Well, today in our final touch, we're wondering if the devil made him do it.
Wait until you see this one. A man dressed as a devil, actually naked with wings, horns, a tail, and a pitchfork, was running around